everyone, how are you today? I am going to make a soap that I've been wanting to do for quite some time. I'm going to use Woad powder in my lye. So I've added about half a teaspoon of Woad powder into my lye water, and I'm just letting that sit for a moment while I get everything else ready. The second portion there is just demineralized water. I have split this batch into two, and I have pre-measured my oils and separated them into two glass jugs that you see there at the back, and we're now ready to commence this project. So please enjoy watching, and welcome once again to my channel. So I'm working with Woad powder and yellow Brazilian clay, and I'm wanting to make a soap that is making use of those two beautiful colours, and I'm just going to make a swirl that hopefully will end up looking really lovely. The experiment is to see if I can get that Woad powder to work in the lye. I have tried it in an oil infusion and I wasn't too happy with that, so this time we'll try it in the water, and I'm using the heat to see if it's going to be of better use to us. So I'm just going to combine the lye into the water and Woad mixture now, and I'll just sprinkle that in. Agitate it a little bit, and I'm wanting to use the heat. Now I'm just putting my gloves on and getting ready to commence our combining and mixing. So I'm just giving the blue Woad powder a good mix at the moment, just to ensure that it's all incorporated properly, stirring down the sides, and I'm wanting to actually use this heat to really draw out that colour. Just giving the lye for the second, the yellow clay portion, a good stir, just making sure that there's no crusty bits on the bottom and that it's all incorporated properly. Now I'll just let those steep for a few minutes so that we allow that to cool down somewhat before proceeding. In this little cup I have my yellow Brazilian clay, and I've put my essential oil blend into this cup. So in here I have some patchouli and some orange essential oil, and I'm using these to hydrate that clay, so that when I add it to my second portion there, it incorporates properly into the mixture. And I'm hoping that that clay really holds on to the essential oil and makes it hold. This is my silicone mold that I'm going to use today. I really like this mold. It's very sturdy and has really served me well. So just checking the temperatures now. The lye water here is actually at 75 degrees Celsius. The second one is about 78 degrees Celsius. and the oils are at 31 degrees Celsius. So when we combine the lye into the oils, we're going to get an average of those two temperatures. So if my lye is at 76 degrees and the oils are at 31, we're going to end up somewhere in the middle once we combine the two. So I'm happy to proceed to the next steps with this. Notice the tools that I'm using. For beginners, this will be a very useful video. Silicone spatulas. I'm using polypropylene containers to mix my lye, and I'm using very good quality sturdy glass jugs to actually mix my batter in. Now when I melted my oils, I did that in a stainless steel pot, and then I halved the batch, transferring half into each jug, which makes it easy. And I've put them in glass jugs today purely so that you can see what's happening through the glass. So I'm making my yellow Brazilian clay first, and I'm not going to use the stick mixer until I get a feel for just how fast this batch is going to move. It's very, very hot in Queensland at the moment. Today it is actually 30 degrees, and in my little work studio I have a wrought iron roof, so it's actually really, really hot, and quite often I actually don't need to stick blend because it will just accelerate my batch too much. So I just like to stir by hand and get a feel for how fast my ingredients are going to move. And as you can see, I actually already, just by stirring, have a very, very light trace. You can see that it is adhering to the sides of my jug, and that's actually a sign that it has reached a very light trace. So every time you put your stick mixer in to your batch, you're actually going to thicken your mixture, and you could end up accelerating it way too quickly and for it to be too thick. So we'll just play it very, very carefully with this batch. So I just gave my clay and essential oil another mix with my little mini whisk and added that to the oils and gave it a quick stir. We'll now move on to the first portion of our soak, which is going to be where we add the lye mixture that has the woad in, and I'm just giving that a gentle stir. I'm just working very, very slowly, no stick mixer at this point, so that I can see what this portion is going to behave like. So I'm nearly ready to pour this batch now, and I'm just getting this into a position that you can see properly. I'm going to pour in two, using both jugs, and I'm going to pour down the sides so that I make two columns of soap side by side that join in the middle, and by doing it that way I avoid the need for a divider. Now I'm just going to mix this woad with the stick mixer because I want to really ensure that this is a uniform mix, and that we really give this woad powder the best opportunity to reveal itself. Unfortunately, by doing so, I run the risk of making this portion a little bit thicker than the other, but we'll see what happens. My apologies, my arm is going to be in the way for a moment, and then you should be able to see. So the Woad portion is considerably thicker than the clay, the yellow. So it should still be okay, but it is thicker. So just tapping down my mould to remove any air pockets that may be there, and they'll come to the surface. And I'm going to use a bamboo skewer to make a swirl design in the soap. So you can see clearly in that view that the Woad portion is considerably thicker. So let's see if I can make a design that's going to make a feature of the Woad. I just have to remove my gloves because I just can't, it's so hot today that I need to remove one of them so that, pardon me, I can clean up the sides of my mould and do the design that I'd like to do. It's always nice to keep your work area clean as you go. Saves you having to clean later. The whole idea of pouring side by side was to do a mantra design with a circling mantra, but with the Woad being so thick, that is not going to be the ideal design. So as I said before, sometimes you have to think quickly and change your initial plans and do something else. So that's what I'm going to do. It's not a disaster. You just have to do something that your original intention was not to do. because I can't make the original design that I was going to do, I think I will allow this to set up a little bit and do a nice creamy effect on the top once it has a little bit more texture or thickness to it. So that'll do for now, and I would like to thank you for watching today. Doesn't look the best on the top, but I will be able to make this quite attractive if I just leave it for now, and I'll come back in a little while and use a spoon to make the top a little bit more attractive than what it is now. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you like what you see, and I'll bring you back and show you the cut when it's ready.